Hi guys, it's Melanie from She's Stitchin' with our next stitch of the week for the Just Another Crochet Along. This one is called the feather stitch. And if you want to get started while I'm talking about this stitch, you can go ahead and do a starting chain of 32 with your 3.5 hook. So go ahead and get that started while I chit chat. So this is all of my colors for the cow from my Karen 1 pound. And I was changing colors every 2 rows. This creates a really thick blanket or textile, whatever you want to call. I normally have, I have like a size 10 ring finger on my thumb, and I think it's like nearly as thick. So it is very thick. I think it would be great if you need a very warm beanie, or also for those boot wrappers that they put on the top. It might be fun. It does use a lot of yarn, and that's where you get this thickness from. And there is like, the holes are very hard to find. So it is a very warm stitch. So I did this with my Cotton Woolies Lion brand Thick and Quick. Or not cotton, it's Woolies, just Woolies. And it's the slow changing. You can see this was the same yarn in a C2C. So it's slow changing. I think it looks super cool. As you can see, the feather stitch is double-sided. And then my favorite yarn is the Lion brand Ice Cream. And it's a slow changing yarn also. And this is what it worked up with that, and that's the size 3 yarn. And it still does make pretty thick piece there. And I'm sure it would be great for a thicker apparel if you needed something like that. I did see, you can see this was the first thing I used it, and I made some mistakes on the edges here, so I'll make sure to show you how to avoid that. So if you have started your chain of 32, what we're gonna do is go back and do a row of half double crochets. So go into the third bump away from the hook and do a half double crochet. And the half double crochet is yarn over. Place in the back bump where I like to crochet. Pull through 1 and then pull through all 3. So go ahead and do a whole row of half double crochet, and I will meet you at the other side. Okay, so now I've gone back and I have my row of 30 half double crochets. So it's 29 half double crochets and then the turning chain. And I just want to point out to you right now to kind of show you the elasticity of acrylic and of this stitch. If you look at that, it looks like it's going to be too small, but just watch and see what happens. It's pretty amazing. So what we're going to do first, so you can see it's smaller, but it'll grow, so don't test your gauge yet. So what we're going to do is chain 1 and turn, and then we're going to do another half double crochet, and we're going to go into that right above that same post there. So it's going to be on top of the previous half double crochet, and that's just going to be our little alternate turning chain there. Let me pull out a little bit extra yarn. So what you're going to do all the way across this first starting row to get prepared for the pattern is we're going to do a half double crochet and then a chain 1. So half double crochet, chain 1, and then we're going to skip a stitch here and do a half double crochet into the next spot. Chain 1. Let me show you that half double crochet again from this view. So it's going to be yarn over, skip a space, place in our hook, yarn over, pull through. We've got 3 on, and we pull through all 3. So that's the half double crochet, and then we chain 1. And we're gonna do that all the way across. So you skip 1, half double crochet, chain 1, skip 1, half double crochet. So go ahead and do that all the way across, and I will meet you on the other side. Okay, so now we're at the other side, and we're just gonna put a half double crochet into that last spot. So this would be our skip 1, and then we're gonna put the half double crochet in the last one there. There we go. And then we're going to do that alternate turning again. So we chain 1 and turn it. And we're going to do a half double crochet, and you put that there on top of that last half double crochet. Okay, and now it's time to start our pattern. So this is going to be our first feather. Oops, sorry. So the feather is somewhat similar to the star stitch in that we're going to be having a lot of loops over our chain, or over our hook. So what we're going to want to do first is we are going to yarn over, which is different from the star stitch. So we're going to end up with 7 loops on the end, so get prepared for lots of loops. So we're going to yarn over once, and then we're going to place into the space that's created here by the chain 1. So yarn over, pull through. So we've got 3 loops. Then we're going to yarn over again, and we're going to go into the skipped space from before. Yarn over at the back, pull through. And we're going to have 5 on, and you want to pull them up so they're all the same size. And then you're going to yarn over again, and this time we're going to go into the next chain space that's created. Put through, yarn over, and pull back through. So you can see here we have 7 loops on our hook. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through all 7 and chain 1. And there you can see our first feather stitch. So let's go ahead and do that again. So remember, we finished that off with a chain 1 to keep it together. You're going to yarn over, and we're going to go into the same chain space that we ended our last feather stitch on. So the end, this is where we went in, and this is where also we're going to start. So make sure you don't go to the next one. Make sure you're sharing that chain space. So yarn over, put through, yarn over, pull it back, then yarn over and go down to that chain space, that skip space from before. Yarn over, pull it through. We've got 5 loops on. Then you're going to yarn over and go forward to that one there. Yarn over, pull it back through. So now we've got 7 on. Yarn over, pull through all 7. And then chain 1. So now we've completed 2 of the feather stitches. I'll go ahead and do that again. So yarn over. We're going to start where we ended in that same chain space. Yarn over, pull through. Yarn over, go down to the skip space below. Pull the yarn over through the back. Oh, sorry, I split my yarn there. Let me do that again. So yarn over, pull it through. Got 5 loops on. Yarn over, skip to the next open chain space, and then you have all 7 on. If you're having trouble pulling it through, sometimes we're just going to rock the hook a little bit to get it to pull through, and then chain 1. So there you can see we've got 3 little ones in a row. I'll do it with you one more time, and then I'll have you do that through to the end. So you're going to yarn over, go into the same spot as the last chain, yarn over, go down to the skip space below, yarn over, pull through. We've got 5 on. Yarn over, go to the next chain space, yarn over, pull through all 7, and then chain. There we go. So I'll meet you down at the other end. So we're at our last chain space, so this is going to be our last feather. So we're going to go into the big space, into the skip space below, and then we're going to go into that top V there. Both parts of that, and yarn over, pull through. So then we got all 7 on, and then chain. And then we're going to do a half double crochet into that same spot. So this is kind of like our border half double crochet. Okay, so that completes row 3. Let's go ahead and we're going to start row 4. So row 4 is going to start with a chain 1 and turn. So row 4, we have that chain 1 turn, then we're going to do a half double crochet. So there's the chain 1 V, and we're going to go into the V next which is the half double crochet V, the top thing. We're gonna do half double crochet there, and then we're gonna chain 1. All right, so we're gonna start off our next feather, and we're gonna go into this space here under the half double crochet. So yarn over and place through there, and then we're gonna yarn over, and you can see this area here where all these other stitches are coming together. We're gonna yarn through there, yarn over, and then go through there. So pull back up, and we've got 5 on. And then we're gonna go to the next one, which is this big feather stitch. So we're gonna go the other side of the big feather stitch. We're not gonna go in here to the chain, we're gonna go under that. So this is under the chain space. So then we've got all 7, then we yarn over and pull through. And then we chain 1. So that finishes our first feather on top of another feather. Okay, so let's go ahead and do the next one, which will be a lot easier. We go into the big chain, the big space here, and then into the big space directly below that. So yarn over, then go, here's the big space, here's the next one. Pull over, or pull up, and we're gonna yarn over, and we're gonna go to the next one, that big space there. So now we've got 7 on, and we'll pull through all 7. So there you can see they're starting to line up on top of each other. And that's what's gonna happen the whole pattern all the way through. You can see if you like pick a line here, it goes straight up the entire thing. The feathers need to line up on top of each other. Okay, so we're gonna yarn over, and we're gonna go into the same space where we finished off that last feather. Then we're gonna go directly below that. And then we're gonna go into the next gap. Uh-oh, here comes trouble. I love you too, William. Can you go back with Big Brother, please? Yarn over and pull through all of them. And then we're gonna close that off with a chain. So I'll go ahead and do one more with you. So we yarn over, we place where we finished that last one. Then we're gonna go directly below that. And then we're gonna go into the next spot. So we have 7 on, pull through all the way, and chain 1. Okay, so now I feel like you should have the repetition of the feathers down. This is a pretty easy stitch, although it is a lot of work. This week my arms have, my muscles in my wrists have definitely been a little bit more tired than most weeks, probably because of all this up and down repetition. So keep going, and I'll meet you at the other side to show you how we end this, and make sure that, oops, sorry, let me pull my yarn, and make sure that we've got everything as it should be. What's William? So I'm gonna join you for this last feather. So we want to make sure that we don't put too many feathers in the end, and that's what I was doing wrong the first time I gave it a go. So you can see what I started doing was adding on extra feather here, and that's why, and I did it on both sides. I was doing this in the car. So we want to make sure we don't do that. So what I should have done was just half double crochets there instead of doing that feather. So we want to make sure we don't do that again. So this half double crochet is, once we finish that stitch off, it's going to pull over and be on top of this one. So then we're going to also want to make sure that we're going on to this one. So, now I forgot here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Right. Okay, so it is, you want to make sure you got 14 feathers per row if you're following the crochet along with us. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we'll go ahead and do the last one. We go in there, and down below, and on the top. Let me just pull this apart so you can see where we are. There's that chain space that we created when we chained 1 and then half double crocheted. And then we're gonna go in under there for the last pull through of the feather, and then chain 1. And then the last thing that we're gonna do is another half double crochet. Oh, my husband's walking in the door. So we're gonna do our last half double crochet on the top of that turning stitch there. And that's the end of row 4. So we're basically going to repeat that whole repetition of row 3 the whole way. And now you should be good at doing that. Let me just do this turn with you one more time because it is a little confusing. So we did the chain 1 and turn, then we're going to yarn over for the half double crochet, and you're going to go right in here on top of that half double crochet. And then chain 1. And we're going to go into that spot there, straight down below, and then over on top of that. So then we got 7 on. Yarn over, pull through all of them, then chain 1. And now you can see that they'll kind of zigzag up each other like that. We've had a little bit of a family emergency around here in this Corona Up virus. My mom actually had the last elective surgery here on her neck. She had spinal surgery, and since she's recovering from that, and my grandpa has been over at her house, and he fell down today. So we've been scrambling a little bit today. So that's why we're running a little bit late. So I'd like to apologize for the video, but it was for good reason. My poor mom is still in her neck brace from her surgery, and now is having to deal with her dad falling and possibly having a broken bone in the middle of coronavirus. And I'm stuck here because I can't go help because of coronavirus. So it's very interesting times. And we do live here in Los Angeles, so a major city with a lot of cases. So the hospitals are, you know the drill. You're watching the news, right? So I hope that your week is going better than my grandpa's. And I hope that you really enjoy this stitch. I think the feather stitch is really pretty, and I really do like the way that it turns out. And as you can see here with me doing this in one color, it also looks really pretty in one color. I really am kind of in love with my yarn choices this time, so any chance I get, I'm changing colors on my yarn. So that's kind of why I found a stitch that I incorporated all the colors, and I'm really happy to do that. But it does also work good with just one color. And as I said before, this is a really nice and thick stitch. So it would be great for a warm sweater or a colder climate. And it doesn't stretch that much, so if you're looking for something that's strong, this is a great stitch that is also very beautiful. So if you have any questions, please comment down below. And if you'd like to share your results or see the results of other people, please join our Facebook page. It's called Just Another Crochet Along, or just Another Crochet Group. And I will put the link to that in the comments, and you'll also find all the other squares there. And we've got tons of squares. I've got squares coming out my ears. And we should be putting them, oh, that's turned sideways. They do match. We'll be putting them together soon. So the Facebook is a great community for that. And also you can join me on Instagram, TikTok, Reddit, and what's the other one? Tumblr. I'm on all the platforms. And I look forward to seeing you. If you need any help, I'm available anywhere, especially here on YouTube. Give me a like if you would like to see more from me. If you want to find your way back to this video, please subscribe. And if anyone asks where I am in the meantime, just tell them she's stitching.